Yeah, hi. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. So, I was asked to speak on what's next. And obviously, we are designers. It's our job to try to predict what comes next. Yeah? So, interestingly, one of the things that we have been working on, we do a lot of UX projects. And we have been working with a lot of AI in the domain. And AI is something that I've been following since many, many years, all the various developments, and how it's going to affect design. So it was very interesting to compile some of the things, what we would like to predict that happens in accordance with the very beautiful topic next. So we are at the brink of singularity. That's the essence of it. We are learning to live with AI, right? And I call myself now, in the forthcoming days, I will be called a human designer, and there will be AI designers also. So, of course, this presentation is prepared with the help of AI. I have a AI assistant bot who helped me prepare this presentation. Her name is Zina. So, she helped me prepare this, and I hope I've tried to keep this a bit light, and let's see how that works. So greetings, fellow designers. I'm going to talk about how humans can survive in a world full of AI. So I've been trying to reach my assistant, Zina, from a long time, since morning actually, and she's nowhere to be around. Hopefully, I'll be able to introduce you to her. Okay, so, right. So going ahead, the much anticipated technological singularity, which promises to change the world. Now we have been talking about singularity all across from a couple of decades, maybe more. And the singularity is something wherein there's a convergence of various subjects, various technological trends, of social changes, developments in ideologies, everything combines, and then there's an explosion, and everything changes. And it changes at an exponential pace. There's a sudden explosion which alters society irreversibly, unpredictably, and in a very, very holistic manner. And now unpredictable means we really cannot tell what the hell this is about, what's going to happen. Okay? So, but as designers, it's our job to try to predict what happens. So, how close are we to the singularity? Of course, we say history is not apparent to you as history when you're living through it, right? But we are very close to the singularity, which promises to alter the nature of society. Oh, I wish I had my assistant, AI assistant Zina on board. I would have introduced you to her, but that's okay. Some other time maybe. So, historically, every techno-social leap, every alteration in society was always preceded by a spike in communication. One very simple example, as a proof of this, is that when printing started, there was a boom in communication, people could read books en masse, and immediately after that, we had the Industrial Revolution taking place. Similarly, we have had another spike in communication, which is the Information Revolution, of course, and that is directly going to lead us to AI. We are already at the brink of it. And just like what happened in the previous Industrial Revolution, traditional industries were lost. So here also, the changes will be unpredictable, and many traditional industries are going to be wiped out unless they learn how to adapt. So this is where we are at, and there is no sector which will not be revolutionized by AI. So we are going to, of course, look at how things happen. So the contention is this, that the singularity that we were waiting for, the advent of AI is what is the benchmark, it's what is the herald, the harbinger of that particular singularity. And it's here, we are just seeing the beginning of it, and it's going to explode. So what are the implications of the AI singularity for design and designers? Because somehow, by the very nature of our profession, we are going to be at the cutting edge of where AI is going to touch. So I remember many years back, we used to think that when AI comes in, it's going to tackle all the logical stuff. And we are creative people, and we are safe because AI is not going to touch creativity. Unfortunately, as we saw in the last few months, beginning of, I think, almost 1 year back, we saw generative art coming in. We saw how nascent it was right in the beginning, but in a matter of months, you could actually see the developments happening. You could see how beautifully it was progressing and what kind of a rapid pace. So already, the demand for, let's say, magazine cover illustrators, yeah, almost gone, because today anyone can simply pick up one of the popular AI programs and generate artwork and put it up there. So there's a lot of job shifts which are happening. A lot of them we are not going to even hear about. So what are the implications? Now, of course, most learning today, this is just a parallel example. Most of the learning today, we benchmark as per the Bloom's taxonomy. And what is the Bloom's taxonomy? We, of course, say that the first level of learning is remembering something, then understanding, then apply, analyze, evaluate, and create, which means that the highest level of learning, even for machine learning, is going to be the ability to create. As you can see over here, at the point of create, the word design appears. So, what does that mean? That the natural mandate of any AI system will be to create, and design is exactly at that particular point, which means that we are going to be, as a design industry, we probably will be the ones who will be hit the hardest, whether we are hit in a manner that we go down, or whether we are hit in a manner that allows us to collaborate and become stronger, that remains to be seen. So I asked ChatGPT, how will the singularity affect the field of design? Yeah, very simple question, and immediately gave me a list of points. AI enhanced creativity, personalization, customization, generative design, prototyping and testing, automation in production, sustainable design, and interestingly, ethical design. Now we'll have to learn ethics from robots, from AI, which is very interesting because that means that the AI might need to have and might need to develop some kind of a value system. Now, what value system is it going to pick from where? That remains to be seen. So this is just a very quick example. So here's one of the paths that will happen, that a lot of designers would find that they are unemployed. They are not getting enough projects or enough high-level projects, maybe. Either this, or perhaps we'll simply become mentors to designer bots and curators of AI-generated designs. So I see this as a very, very strong reality. Now, I also asked ChatGPT again, of course. We all ask questions to ChatGPT. Ways in which human designers can survive in the world of AI. And it immediately tells, leverage AI as a creative assistant, right? So just like I have my creative assistant, Zina, and hopefully I'll be able to introduce you. You can automate repetitive tasks, design validation and testing, generative design, again, ethical design, and research. So you can see it has covered pretty much all the spectrums at which design operates. We do research, we do prototyping, we do testing, we do market analysis right at the outset. So we do formative research, summative research, all of that gets covered. So here's an anecdote from the past. Now this is in the era before we had AI. Okay, about 15 years back or something like that. So we had a project at my company at that time for designing perfume bottles. Now, perfume bottle design is a very interesting and utterly boring task. Why? Because you have a fixed volume, you have the specified glass thickness, you have a specified header space that you have to leave. So it is like design within that stringent parameters. Okay, everything is defined, and you have to keep generating designs day in, day out. So I got really bored by it. And they say that a lot of invention is born out of not just necessity, but also out of laziness. So what we did, we got a guy who knew some coding. He managed to do some coding so that we could set the volume of a particular 3D shape on the computer, of course, and it would keep generating different automated designs based on mathematical formula, you name it, and the designs would keep changing in front of your eyes once you started the program. At any point, if you felt, oh, this is a form that I like, you could press the space bar and immediately it would stop. You take the file, export it in 3D, and you could convert that into a basic form for a perfume bottle. So this was kind of using computing to generate designs automatically. Unfortunately, we didn't get to take that particular very interesting project ahead because that was the same time that I sold that company and moved on. But we did this before that particular era, right? So this is semi-AI. There's no real intelligence, but it's using mathematical algorithms and formulae, etc. So this is where we are. Why is this not working now? Okay. Okay, anyway, we'll move ahead. Right. So, of course, like Sudhir said that we are also receiving awards in the evening, so I'm here also to receive an award for one of my products, and that is the design of the brush pen by Camlin. Now, this is an example of the standard design process as it is today. Okay? So what we did was, apart from the functional requirements, usability, safety dimensions, and all that stuff, apart from all of that, we needed a basis for creating the form. One thing was very clear at the outset, that the brush pen was meant for an artist. So we are very clear that it cannot look like a piece of office stationery. So we needed a form, we needed a story for that. And I remembered one particular story which I read in my childhood, where there's a samurai who goes to see the lord of a castle for a job. He's an unemployed samurai, he's a ronin. And the gatekeeper does not allow him in. So the samurai says, okay, but before I go, could you please give a gift to your master? The gatekeeper says, okay, what do you have? So he's a poor samurai, doesn't have anything. So he looks around and he sees some flowers growing there, takes out a sword and chops off the flower. And takes the flower and gives it to the gatekeeper and says, please take this to your master. Okay? And the gatekeeper goes to the master and says, कि बाहर कोई samurai आया है, इसने आपके लिए flower भेजा है. And of course, he takes the flower, and the lord of the castle is a connoisseur himself, and he looks at the flower, and he looks at that particular cut, and so here's the flower, and here's the cut, and the moment he sees the cut, he says, this cut can only be made by a master samurai. So, this particular cut is the symbol of skill in your art. So, anytime you're using this pen and you know this story, this particular detail, that particular cut, is going to remind you the importance and the relevance of skill in whatever you're doing. That's the story which led us to the form. It's a simple stock, one cut here, one cut here, and that's a very poetic kind of a way of reaching form. And I don't think AI can be that poetic, because it's humans who can understand and see various kind of, cross references. What the hell? That's Zina, my assistant. I think I'm going to call her. Zina, what the hell is this, man? Why are you appearing in my presentation? This is not done. And why are you calling yourself a pirated AI bot? And you're saying AI can write much better poetry? You're not pirated, by the way. I have paid for you. What do you mean? I have to pay you a salary on top of that? Really? I can't afford that. I'm a product designer. We are poor people. We can't afford to give you a salary. Please get off my screen. Oh, you're going to get me clients? You'll data scrape and find all the clients and working on brilliant, awesome, cutting-edge projects? Uh, that's the most poetic and beautiful thing that I've ever heard. Tell me, what do I have to do? Okay, done. We are on. Okay, now please get off my screen, Zina. Okay, gone. Sorry about that. So, back to the topic. How's the process of design going to change with AI? So, in my opinion, the entire structure of design teams is going to alter. So what's going to happen? Your AI bots will give you the research profile of a product, which have maximum chances of market success. You just have to give it the internals of the product. You have to provide the usability and styling needs. Just mark those, and in a matter of seconds, you will get a huge amount of concepts, out of which you just have to pick and choose and develop it further, which will also be done by the AI. So where exactly is the designer's role going to be? Only as curators, baby. We are only going to be there as human interfaces for AI to produce design. Okay? So it's going to be like going to China, buying a ready product that you can bring back here, brand, and sell it as your own product, except that it will be an original design. Yeah? And if you purchase the tool, chances are you'll own the IPR for that product also. Unlike all the generative art programs where you don't have IPR, here you will have IPR. So the advent of AI-assisted design tools, which go on becoming more and more powerful, will absolutely alter the structure of design teams across the world. I don't know if design skills will go downwards because everything is being done by that. It might be something like, because we have a calculator, we have lost the ability to do basic calculations. Because we have cell phones in which all the numbers are pre-fed, we do not bother to remember more than 4 or 5 numbers, whereas at one time you could remember 50 numbers. So there will be some amount of degradation of design skills, maybe, but you might learn to operate in a different way. So today the domain of communication, by communication I mean computing communication, of course, it's at its peak. Zina, please go away. Okay, I think I better wrap up now. So tomorrow, are we going to be interacting with all our design tools just as if you're interacting with a human being? We just give them instructions and the job is done because they already understand us. Perhaps they'll get to know our exact ways. They'll know our personal tastes. And therefore, I believe that the next, what's in the future, is AI-powered design tools that work like friendly, super fast, and super skilled assistants. So, that's all. I hope I could just begin this particular day in a slightly lighter fashion. Thank you. I'm from ThoughtCraft. We do UX, UI, and as Zina says there, ping us if you need some awesome design work done. Thank you.